This is Alexandra Villarroel Abrego and welcome to another episode of Alexandra TV. If you clicked on this video, perhaps it's because you saw the title and you said, yes, that's me. I hate my job, I work at a dead-end job, and it's because I just don't know what I want to do maybe with my life, or perhaps because I have a dream, I have a goal, but I still don't know how to manage to live from my passion, really. So I have to work at this job that I really don't like. Well, let me tell you that I know what it's like. I know what it's like to work at a job that you really, really dislike. You know, I started working at the age of 15 years old. My first job was as a cashier in a grocery store. Then I worked as a cashier in a pharmacy. I've worked in clothing stores. I've worked in telemarketing centers, so answering calls, also calling people to sell them things. I've worked in so many places, and every single time I hated it. I'm fortunate now to be able to work for myself, to own my own business, and to really not only be able to make a living and make a fortune out of it, but to help people while doing it. That's the most beautiful and amazing thing. But it took a long time to get to where I am today, and a lot of dead-end jobs to get to where I am today. So I really know what it's like to wake up in the morning and just not want to go to work and have to call in sick even if when you're not sick. What it's like to desperately wait for Friday to arrive, and what it's like when you're at your job and there's like 2 hours left and you look at your clock every time and it seems like an hour has passed by, but it's like only been 2 minutes. I know what it's like. You know, I've had a lot of jobs over the years, and at times I even worked 2 jobs at the same time, so 12 hours a day. But the reason why I'm making this week's episode is because lately I was thinking about that, about my journey and about the jobs that I've had. And not too long ago, I was part of a lounge in the industry that I'm in coaching. We do that. We do orchestrated lounges where, let's say if I have a program or product that I want to launch, well, other coaches who have an audience as well, they join in, and then we can all promote each other. And it's a beautiful thing. It's really amazing. It's so competitive, but it's great because you get to win things. You go to trips. You know, you get to tens of thousands of dollars are in the whole this lounge basically that is done, and there's always a top 10 of people, so it's very competitive. And not too long ago I was part of a launch, of a 7-figure launch. So it was the first time that we reached the 7-figure. Was amazing, and I was in the top 7 of the people that were the salespeople, and I was the only woman in the top 7. So it was a really proud moment for me. And I remember that night when we finally got all the numbers in, I was so happy, and I thought about how I would not have been in that top 7 if it wouldn't have been for, let's say, my last job. One of my last jobs that I had was I was answering emails for a company. So answering emails, and I had to do a 24-hour follow-up, 48-hour follow-up, 72-hour follow-up. So when I left that job and I started working, you know, I had my business full time. Well, I trained my staff to do that, to do 24-hour follow-ups, 48-hour follow-ups, and 72-hour follow-ups. And we realized when we did this launch that most of the sales came from that, from the follow-ups that we did. So I remember that night when we finally got the numbers in, how if it wouldn't have been for that job, I wouldn't have been in that top 7. Then the same thing is for, let's say, the finances in my business. I'm very proud to be able to say that there's a lot of money that is made in this business and in my business. And the reason why I believe I'm able to make the amount of money that I make is simply because I have a financial binder where I track all of the money in the business. And the reason why I have that is because of another job that I had at some point, which was in a clothing store. And then we had a little binder, I remember, where there was little tables, and in that binder we had the goals, the goal settings for the days, for the weeks, for the months. We also had to put the numbers that we did the year before so we could compare. Then what was the actual, so what did we actually do? What was the variance, so the difference? And everything that I learned at that job, I took it and I put it into my business. So I really know that today we're able to make the revenue that we make every year because of systems like that we use. So I remember the other night when I was thinking about this, how I would never, ever be in the position that I am today if it wouldn't have been for all those jobs that I had at the time, that I hated at the time. So I realized that if I had to do it all over again, I would do it all over again without a doubt. I would absolutely do it, but I would pay more attention. So instead of complaining, instead of being like, oh, I can't wait for my shift to be over, I just want to go home, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be here, I would pay so much more attention because I would understand that it is all a preparation to who I'm about to become, to who I was about to become. So the reason why I decided to make this video is because, like I said, if I had to do it all over again, I would love to know that. I would love for someone to tell me, look, this is just preparing you. This is just the preparation of what's coming for you. So pay attention, because this is all like your training, basically. This is like you going to school, but in these different jobs, and you're learning things here that you're going to be able to use later on. So if right now you're at a job, a dead-end job that you hate and you don't want to be there, instead of complaining, pay attention, because it's preparing you for your great destiny. So that is it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, it was just a little message that I wanted to share with you, because I would have loved to know that back then. You know, I would have paid more attention instead of being complaining about the jobs that I had at the time. And don't worry, your time is coming. Trust me. If you're at a place that you don't like, it's because your spirit knows that you're not supposed to be there, and eventually your time will come. In the comment section down below, let me know what are the jobs that you had and what did you learn at every job that you ever had in your past. I'm sure other people love to learn your lessons, and I would love to learn that too. So that is it for this week, and I will see you next week. Did you like this video? If so, here's 3 very simple things that I want you to do. First of all, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel because you get free videos every single week. So of course you don't want to miss that. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you to go on my website, alexandravillarroel.com, and subscribe also to my email list, because every week I send you content by email that you don't see here on Alexandra TV, but it's free content with coaching techniques, strategies, so you don't want to miss that either. And the third thing that I want you to do is I want you to share this video. Share it on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, email it to a friend, or even call a friend and say you need to go watch this. As Maya Angelou once said, when you learn, teach. So everything that you learned today, make sure you share it and you teach it to someone. I look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of Alexandra TV. And until then, don't forget to love life, others, and yourself.